All right. Well, thank you very much for having a chat with us here at GVN. So, just jumping right off, what, if any, input did you have over the Bad Guys as far as like adaptation wise?
Look, I was the executive producer, one of the executive producers. So from the beginning, I was across each draft of the script, each cut of the film, and would make copious notes. I kind of considered it my job really to be the guardian of the tone of the books more than anything else, the spirit of the books, which was the initial reason that Dreamworks were interested in adapting it in the first place. And it's a long journey, so you want to make sure that that doesn't get diluted or go off course at any point. But I didn't really have to worry too much. They were very consistently reverent about the source material, which was wonderful. And it's, I think for fans of the books, for kids who love the books, it's ended up being a really wonderful situation where they're seeing a movie that is a new, it goes in new directions, but the DNA is entirely from the books. Kids feel very, it all feels very familiar to them when they sit down. It doesn't feel like a new thing, which is great. And yeah, look, they were enormously inclusive all the way through, which I really appreciated, because as you know, there's authors all over the world who've had their work butchered by movie studios. So this was not the case for me, which is wonderful.
Nice. So you felt like you were in good hands from jump.
Yeah, I really did, and it was a long journey, and there were a number of regime changes at DreamWorks during this time. So the waters weren't always calm, but the core creative team just kept writing it out, and I think it speaks to the material that regardless of changes that happened at the studio, it just kept being there. And then when Margie took over, she immediately greenlit it. So yeah, look, it's been a pretty extraordinary experience in that sense.
Nice. Now, speaking of DreamWorks, was that always like the original studio that this was going to go to, or had it maybe changed from, maybe another studio?
I had a very surreal week in 2016. I came across from Australia and I met with the heads of most of the studios. The books had been doing terribly well in the school system in America. They'd been selling like hotcakes, and I think that attracted a lot of attention. I came across, met everybody really, and DreamWorks just stood out as getting it more than anybody else, really. And then as a side note, this sounds like a lie, but it's not. Several years earlier, the day I invented the Bad Guys and wrote a sort of elevator pitch description of what it was, I texted it to a friend, said, "What do you think of this?" And she texted straight back, "That sounds like a DreamWorks movie." Which is true. It actually happened it was like way back in 2013, I think it was, something like that. Yeah. So, no, it's pretty cool. It's meant to be.
Nice. Now, I guess it goes without saying, but what did you think of the final product? You seem pretty pleased with it.
It's pretty cool. Look, that's my judging from the background behind you there. I share an affinity with just like an obsession with movies, like a deep obsession. Like it's all since I was very, very young, it's been the center of my universe, really. So the fact that I think the movie is genuinely cool is the kind of thing that allows me to go to my grave feeling an enormous sense of satisfaction that something that I created has been turned into something that I genuinely love. And again, if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't be saying it. In fact, if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't be talking to you this morning. I'd be just sort of mysteriously absent from media appearances. So it's quite something to have it turned into something that I genuinely like.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, would you be interested in, or are you working on more further adaptations, like this being like an ongoing series?
The Bad Guys, you mean? Yeah, look, it will all depend obviously on the final numbers once the theatrical run is over and how it goes in streaming. But yes, I know we're all very keen to make a sequel, and there's lots of buzz happening internally with that at the moment. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Great. And now you have another project that is coming to Netflix, right? The Thelma and the Unicorn project.
Thelma the Unicorn, yeah, Thelma the Unicorn, and it's no, not at all. It is yes, it's in full blown production now. I think we're looking at probably the end of 2023, most likely, for it to be, it's certainly completed, but then released on Netflix. And it's been directed by Jared Hess, who made Napoleon Dynamite and Masterminds and a bunch of other very funny comedies, Nacho Libre, and a co-director, Lin Wang, who is excellent too. And yeah, look, it's a musical, great big animated musical. So it's I unfortunately can't. Netflix have not yet announced cast or anything like that, or the songwriters, so I can't say who yet. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So I'm kind of curious, just also to kind of wrap up, are you in works of any other adaptation of your books? Like Pig the Pug, I think would be a pretty cool one as a pug owner myself. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things. I have a new series called Cat on the Run. That is out, a book series that is out early next year, I think, and that is already in development at a studio. I can't say which because they haven't announced it yet, but we're all very excited about that, and an amazing screenwriter has just come on board to do the adaptation, which I'm very excited about. And Pig, yes, I've been holding Pig back because I've had so many other things happening. I've been doing 3 books a year plus all the movie stuff, so I want to give him the attention that he deserves. And yeah, I'm in talks coming up actually about where he's ultimately going to end up. But yes, I'm thinking Pig's a TV show. I think because Pig, unlike the Bad Guys, which has a long narrative arc, Pig he's more suited to rebooting at the beginning of each episode and just doing something ghastly on an episodic basis. So I think that's probably where he'll end up. But yeah, that's pretty exciting too. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things all lined up, but they're the next 2 in line.
Yeah, it's such a charming series. I know my nieces just love them to death. Actually, they were really excited when I explained that I was talking to you. So that was pretty
that's
awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up my questions. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about the Bad Guys, which I think is fantastic, and I definitely urge everyone to check it out. And okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.